Okay, so you have been at a friend's house, you've been at a Home Depot, you have been through Armina Stone's showroom, and you see this shiny, sexy, beautiful granites. Stonework, quartz maybe even. Where does it come from? How does it get there? What's the process? What are the different levels? We're going to talk about all that right now because we are talking real estate, real estate, real estate. Okay, first of all, before we get into it, I want to thank my two sponsors, Fund That Flip, hard money loans for a lot of Pittsburgh investors and beyond. And of course, Reed Building Supply, all of your supply materials to brand new construction, flips, everything but granite. So I'm super excited today. We're talking to
Mike Reynolds.
Mike Reynolds of Armina Stone. I've known Mike for maybe 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we go to a lot of different events, and we talk granite and stone all the time. So tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, where'd you come from, how'd you get here?
So Mike Reynolds, I'm the vice president for Armina Stone. Emery and I go way back. We've been good friends for over 6 years, 7 years now. That once he started coming into the market, we first met each other really through the Builders Association.
Yeah.
We both sat on the board there.
Love
and
BAMP.
BAMP has been an amazing partner, and it's been great to be a part of for all these years. Yep. And so I met Emery through there, and we really hit it off. We helped each other. I worked with a flooring company here in Pittsburgh for over 10 years, and I was I would help him, he would help me. We would, right. Trade ideas and help each other get customers. And, as his business continued to grow and grow in the market, and I was, growing mine as well. And, we just kind of reached a point where it made sense to come together. So, he approached me with the idea of coming on and running the company for him. And I was really excited about it. He really, has put a ton of investment into this market, and really became a great opportunity for us to come together and take something that, the things that you do when you're this big, you just can't do when you're that big, right?
100%.
So, you really need to be able to focus on, all different types of processes, operations, team, people, and just kind of get everybody moving in the same direction and really look for the growth, the future, what we can do, and where we could go. And it's been an amazing year, almost a year and a half. So
that's how long you've been there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something you don't know. Whenever Emery brought me to the BAMP Christmas party, maybe 3 years ago, it was before you were with Armina Stone, and you walked by and you shook his hand and all that, and he's like, "That's a good man right there. You're very good at his job, blah, 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 blah." And then the announcement came maybe 6 months to a year later that you were hired on. I was like, I see how that works. So for those of you that don't know, Emery, who we're talking about, is the actual owner of Armina Stone. I don't know if you know the history, if you can give a little history. I know a little bit as well. I can maybe help a little bit.
Sure. No, I know it all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Emery started in the industry and really started as an importer. So, he was buying and wholesaling slabs of natural stone, marble, granite, quartzite
in Pittsburgh,
and not only in Pittsburgh but across the country. So
but he had a brick and mortar place in Pittsburgh, or he didn't have to wholesale it.
He didn't have to start off, and then
right.
Because he was really in the Virginia market for the most part, and through DC, and then selling up and down the East Coast, and then out west as well. Right. But then realized that Pittsburgh, over those years of importing and getting to know all the different fabricators out there, the people that actually take the stone and then turn it into countertops, right? Realized that Pittsburgh was a unique market where there wasn't a giant player like a lot of other markets where there's a huge player.
Right. That's because they don't know how to market.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In here, there was always some smaller guys and a few companies that come in from other markets, but nobody that could really grab this market and run with it the way Emery has.
Yeah, and it's funny because when he first started when I first started noticing him, I should say, I never thought of there being a dominant granite place. Now, even though I know him, you see Armina Stone everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's like the go-to place for any type of stone for your house. But before he came, it was just like a market that was like underground almost.
Yeah, there was nobody like really out there pushing it.
Right. They would just have their usual customers or whatever.
Yeah,
but Emery markets it like, it doesn't have to be stone. It could be cowboy hats. I mean,
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's just a great...
It's a marketing machine. It really is. And
right.
we've got a great team to be able to pull it off. And, but yeah, he really came into this market and decided that, you know, Pittsburgh is where he wanted to open up and put a fabrication shop and start to develop the relationships needed to do it. But not just do it the way a lot of companies do that are very segmented. I do commercial, I do retail, I do builder. You know what I mean?
Right.
We looked at it, he looked at it and said, you know, I want to be able to be have multiple streams of not just revenue, but types of customers, all different types of segments in the marketplace,
right.
So that this way we
Smart.
can be insulated from downturns.
I love that.
Right? Because there's so
smart.
many times when, you know, interest rates all of a sudden go up, home building slows down, apartments go crazy, commercial goes nuts. You know, you have to be prepared, and retail is always like this.
Right.
You know, these past couple of years, everything's been just go.
Right.
But now we're starting to see some normality starting to come back to the marketplace. And when you're in different segments like that, you really insulate yourself from those types of downturns, and you can capitalize when those markets really are hitting hard.
That's such a great in general business model. Again, it doesn't have to be stone. It could be cowboy hats or even real estate. I had this conversation with Mitch Poe on my previous podcast. Who's a flipper, and he's not just flipping, but he's actually buying a breakfast restaurant. And a lot of investors are doing Airbnbs and rentals and new construction. So you have to have many legs, many streams of income, just in case one gets cut off.
Yeah,
or one gets cut
Being
short.
diversified like that in
100%.
business and in life is important.
Super smart.
Right? But for our business in general, it allows us to also, you know, be able to utilize our resources the best, right? So, you know, some of the products that we bring in and that we're stocking for retail could also work really good with builder, could also work really good, you know, with our big box companies that we work with. We do a ton with the Home Depot, Lowe's, IKEA, Cabins to Go, that kind of business as well. So when we're talking, you know, working with, you know, national accounts like that,
Wow.
you know, being able to utilize the resources that we bring in, you know, we can really you know, diversify our teams as well. So from our installers, you know, to the factory, it allows us to be able to be a lot more flexible. For an individual who just happens to roll in and have a small project, we can be there for them.
Okay, so I'm just done a little conversation. Got a ton of questions, so I'm gonna try to remember them all. First one is, let's button up the history.
Yeah.
How long has Armina Stone been in Pittsburgh?
So we've been in Pittsburgh now. It's going on 7 years.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned some of your clientele. Can you give me a complete list of who all you guys service?
Yeah, so I mean, we service builders. So almost every builder in this marketplace we're doing business with, from
Track builder,
track builders and custom builders.
Okay.
So we
Oh,
do,
wow.
yeah, we do a lot of custom builder work, right? So, you know, the Infinities of the world,
Right.
that are doing, you know, some amazing projects,
Yes.
beautiful, huge homes,
All high
right?
end.
All high end craziness, right? Kenco,
love
again,
Ken.
right? We love
Yeah,
Ken.
yeah.
He's, you know, it does those unique style, you know, I mean, they're beautiful monsters, right?
Right.
And, you know, so, you know, companies like that, and then of course the NVRs of the world, right? That have their national builders. They do a ton of business. Ryan and Heartland, we do, you know, all of the
That's
Heartland,
crazy.
a ton of Ryan.
Miranda.
Miranda. We just started really doing Miranda homes.
That's the three track builders. The three top track builders in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Miranda, Ryan, and Heartland.
You got companies like Eddie Homes, right? So
Yeah.
Eddie Homes and Weaver,
Yeah.
Perry. I mean, the list
Jesus,
just goes on.
yeah.
The amount of builders that we work with.
That's crazy.
Kaysen. I'm leaving. I know I'm leaving some out. I hate to do that, but I mean, it's really, you know, Schumacher's. You know,
Really?
Yeah. Scarmazzi. Yeah. It starts to go down the list. I mean, really. There's and then
Huge.
there's a lot of smaller custom guys that do, you know, some just amazing work, like Spagnola's. I mean, they are Spagnola builders. Angelo does an amazing job as well. So on the builder side, we really are continuing to grow. We're looking at adding some more customers as well. Charter's a big customer here in this marketplace.
You have those guys as well?
We are now starting to do some business with them. We're excited for that. So,
and the reason why I wanted to kind of give your list is for if there are any builders out there that are not using you, I want them to. It's a credibility thing. I want everybody, even flippers and like little one-off builders, like myself. I'm a one-off builder. I'm not a Kenco. I'm definitely not an MVR or anything like that. But to show the credibility of what everybody else thinks. If all the other builders think that you guys are the top dog, then everybody underneath should have no problem understanding that.
And we treat them for all purpose. I mean, everybody's treated the same.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they're huge, if they're small, if they're doing one house or doing 100 houses, 500 houses. It really doesn't matter, because each job, each builder has their own project manager who's going to be on site, going in, doing pre-inspections, post-inspections, doing the confirmations needed. We really know the builder world. And, that was my world too, before Armina Stone. So we were able to bring some cool processes to the table to just get better at what we're doing. And it allows us to be able to, in our factories as well, keep that factory pumping, because that was a huge thing for us, was to really be able to increase our productivity.
We're going to talk about the factory.
That we can do,
Let's talk about the factory in a second, but I do want to point out that you guys did Lawrenceville Lofts, which is something I represented. So you work with GCs as well, right?
We do, yeah. That's another segment. So, and that's something that's really growing in our business, is the ability to start doing more and more commercial type projects. To us, that's a commercial project, right? Working with commercial GCs, doing either large apartment communities, large condominiums, doing fit outs for all different types of businesses, whether they're restaurants,
hotels?
stores, We're doing the hotel.
I saw that
downtown.
The casino.
With the casino. Yeah.
The landing.
The landing. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I saw the images on your Instagram. You should check out their Instagram, which we're going to put up right here. Okay. Yeah. So anything basically has countertops. Have you ever done a hospital?
We have not done a hospital yet.
We gotta get you in.
But we really want to, because we have some really great partners with Cambria, which I know we'll talk about.
Yep.
But they do a lot of work with hospitals too. So we'll be able to start doing more and more of that.
That's crazy. And let's talk about the what tools you have that allow you to mass produce all of this stuff for commercial and residential. I've been following Emre for a while in the Armina Stone, so I know you have some huge investments on some of these machines. Does anybody else in Pittsburgh have these machines?
I mean, not like we do. I mean, not even close. We have 2 Baca robots. These are robot arms that are double tables, that are the latest equipment that you can possibly buy. They're really amazing, because they pick up the speed, allows us to be able to move so much faster. And they're high pressure water jets, right? They're 60,000 psi.
So you shouldn't put your finger on it.
Not at all. It'll cut it off, and it'll just seize it. You'll be like instantly, cut and healed in a second, right? So it's really wild. But this allows us to be able to really move fast. And then we have Park Industries is another great partner of ours. We have their latest equipment on a double table, miter machines. We just brought in a new machine from Baca. It's a sink cutout machine, which allows us to actually all vanities and sinks for kitchens. It cuts it out. It polishes them, and it drills the holes for the undermount sinks, and we can mass produce them. We can go crazy with them, and it comes out just unbelievably beautiful.
And all these machines are in the same factory?
Yeah, we have one factory in Cheswick,
right?
And that's our main location. We also have a showroom there too, but it's about a 75,000 square foot facility. Huge. And we have about 150, 160 employees, so we're going 100 miles an hour.
Company wide or just over there?
Company-wide, but that's where most everybody is. There's only a few people in each of our other locations in Cranberry and in Robinson doing sales. So
right, and you have installers as well on payroll, right? You don't subcontract.
Yeah. So we have mostly employee installers, but we also do have some subcontractors that really just work for us.
Right.
It is a new dynamic that we did, and it worked out really great for a lot of the builder stuff that we do. and also some of the commercial work that we're doing, being able to come in and, when you have these big projects, they want to knock out an entire floor maybe in a day or two.
Right.
And we can do 15, 16, 20 units in a day.
Wow.
If we need to. So
that's crazy.
Based on their schedule. We'll roll with their schedules. So we have a lot of really big projects coming up around the city on the commercial side. So next time we get together, we'll be able to talk about some of these really cool projects that went off. It's pretty exciting.
How much did the robot cost?
I mean, they're about $500,000.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. We have seven machines that are cutting. We also have the finishing machines, like we call them. They're Titans. They're basically routers. So we can take these, beautiful pieces right off the machine, put it onto the routers where they get polished, they get finished, they get cleaned up perfect, and we're good to roll. So
let me ask you this:
3 of those.
That's crazy. Yeah. Can somebody come into the factory and watch?
For sure, we do tours all the time.
That's what I was getting at.
We bring our customers in all the time, and we give them a full tour of the factory. And the cutting and the CNC machines are awesome to see. They're really something to see. But then also, as you go down the process line, right?
Yeah.
So once something is fabricated, it's cut. That's our first part of it, is being able to cut them. But the polishing aspects is a whole nother thing. So we have these 2 amazing machines called Commandoulis. They come from Italy. And we can run huge, all the straight runs on these, and it puts the edging on them, whether it's a pencil edge or an eased edge, whatever it is. It puts the edging on it, it polishes them, and gets them ready for our hand polishers. But we still have a lot of hand polishers,
right?
And the reason for that is because there's nothing like that hand touch to these things.
Great.
So the CNC machines do an amazing job, but when you have the type of unique custom jobs that we do, from the big, miters to the waterfalls to, just huge quartzite, really, special high-end exotic material, to be able to have the hand touch and the customizing it that way, nothing's better than that. And these guys are artists, and we have a lot of them.
A lot of pride in their work.
And we find it's really it's a dying trade, like a tile installer, right? It's hard to find tile installers.
You need an Italian guy in there installing your tile.
To find polishers that can really have the art and the skill to be able to do what we need them to do on a day-to-day basis, and still produce volume, is really unique. So we're blessed. We're really, really blessed to have some amazing people working with us.
It's a great company
to put this stuff out there. Yeah.
So I know there's two more things we want to talk about, and one which it's maybe a selfish thing I'm fascinated with that we touched on before, and I want to understand the process of getting that nice polished countertop. Let's go back. I mean, let's start at the beginning. How does that even start? Like, take me through the process. Cliff Notes first.
The best thing that we have going for us is the way that we buy. And that's all because of Emery and his relationships around the world. So he traveled the world for all those years before coming to Pittsburgh, developing relationships with the quarries and the factories at the quarries. So what happens is the stone starts in a mountain. It's natural. It's coming right out of the earth, right? So your marble, your granite, and your quartzite. And quartzite is made out of the same base material like marble. It starts off as sandstone, but it has a ton of quartz in it, which makes it extremely hard. So whereas marble's soft, granite's harder, quartzite is the hardest of the natural stones.
Interesting.
And it has the most unique looks in it because the dynamic between the sandstone and the quartz just brings these beautiful looks and beautiful colors into there, and as it's made in the mountain, over time by God, right? Like it's being made, it's smashing, it has like dirt in there, it has plant matter, and this is getting compressed over millions of years, and it turns into the most beautiful stuff on earth. Going and developing those relationships was the key to this business, and being able to say, we can bring stone in from all over the world, and we do. We bring it in from Turkey, from Brazil, from Italy, of course, from India, some from Asia. I mean, it's amazing some of the stuff that can come to the tables, but it's those relationships that really made the difference. So he'll go literally pick out blocks, and they come as these huge blocks, like massive blocks of stone.
Hold on a second. So you're telling me you don't get any stone from Pittsburgh?
I mean, unfortunately, there's no quarries here.
Well, we gotta find one. I'm just thinking of money you'd save.
Yeah, right.
Down the rocks, McKees rocks. It even says it rocks.
Right,
There's got to be something there.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, not what we're looking. Not what you want to put in your homes.
So, I mean, maybe the competition's getting it from there. So anyway, so Emre is sitting in Pittsburgh, and a thought comes into his head. Hey, it's time for me to go shop for stone. Books a flight, flies into. Will he fly to each different? Will he hop from country to country to country, or he just go right straight to Brazil this week?
Just different times of the year for what we're shopping for.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So a lot of times, we've been getting. Excuse me. We've been getting a ton out of Brazil. So what we do, so he'll go down to Brazil and actually go out to the mountains where the factories are really close to the mountains as well. We also have boots on the ground in these areas. So people that work directly for Armina Stone, which allows us to be able to look at some of the imaging, look at some of the stuff that we throughout the year, and be able to have our quality control guy go before we ever purchase it and actually put eyes on it, make sure it's exactly what we're looking for in Brazil, in Italy. Yeah.
So will they send photos to Emre and say, "Hey, come on over. Are you interested in this?"
Everything's digital, so we can see it all digitally. And then, if we're really interested in it, we can do that. But there's nothing like going and purchasing it, and that's where you go and you get the best deals possible. Right?
And I'm guessing before the digital revolution, maybe he wasn't even in the business at that point in time. He would just blindly fly out there and say, "Let's see what I like,"
and build the relationships. That's the thing. So they're not just going to sell to anybody. They got to know that you're a player, right? So they got to know that you're.
It's like the mob.
Well.
Get mobbed up.
You know what I mean? You have to be a part of the group, right?
Right.
You go and as you establish those relationships, and they trust you, and you're buying, it allows you to get better and better and better deals. And they let you know when there's something really special getting cut out of the mountain. Like, this block is pure. This is A grade material.
Right.
They're going to give us a call first because they trust us. They know that we're going to execute. We're going to bring it in, and we'll get more. Yeah.
I like
that. I mean, they take those full blocks and they slice them into like
they do.
Yeah. So they do it out in right off the mountain. They bring the blocks to their factories,
right?
And then they slice them like cheese. And depending on the type of material, if it needs a certain backing, they polish them, or they leave them leathered, right there.
Pause. So they slice them to the thickness of the countertop, or they over.
No, they slice them to the thickness. So, whether it's going to be a 2 cm material or a 3 cm material, we can make that decision, and we can custom order it that way.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
we say, all right, we want our block. We buy the block because the block has a certain veinage or something in it.
Right.
That goes all the way through it. It's not just on that one piece. It goes through there. It changes a little bit as it goes through the block. But once you have that pure block that you want, once you start slicing it, you really get to see each piece and each slab.
Right.
And we buy them in bundles, And so we have those bundles prepared and set and ready for us in Brazil. They load them in containers and send them our way. Once they come to us, that's when we have to get them out of the containers. Everything's so fragile until it lands on your table. So it's amazing, the process of getting that through the container into our shop, onto the tables, get them cut, get them fabricated, polished, loaded in a truck, brought out to the house without nothing breaking. It's an amazing process.
And then getting it in the house even.
Yeah, and then getting it in.
Elevators for condo buildings.
Once it lands and it's there, it's as solid as rock, right? It's not going anywhere.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's so rigid. There's no flexing.
No, yeah.
So backing up just a smidge, the quantity that you guys would buy, Emory would buy, you would know how many fits in a container, and you buy it up to that container size.
Yep. And
how big are, for the layman, how big is a container? I've seen them physically, but not in front of me.
Yeah, so they come in a few different sizes, but the containers that we're getting, they're like 40-foot containers,
40-foot long.
Yeah.
And how high would you think they are? 10 feet, 9 feet?
Yeah, about 8 to 9 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
But then they do come in a few different sizes for sure.
Interesting.
But what winds up happening is when that container arrives, we have like special forklifts to be able to pull them out.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's an interesting process to get those things out of there.
And I'm going to nerd out a little bit. I told you I was going to. Let's like detail it out. So it goes, how do these containers get here? Do they come on an airplane, a helicopter?
Right. Yeah. No, they're shipped. They're shipped on ships. Yeah, they're super heavy. You've seen like those big container ships, like on the somewhere on the news, whatever, sitting out waiting to get into a port because the ports were clogged. I mean, they come on a ship. They land into a port. A lot of our stuff goes into Newark or Delaware or Savannah, and then they're shipped up.
How long does it take?
They either ship them by rail or by truck from the port
to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, or to a distribution center where then they're picked and brought in on a truck. So sooner or later they get onto a truck to us.
And see, end users, clients, customers of Stone and Armina Stone, you don't understand how much goes into this. This is just a Cliff Notes version we're talking about of the process getting it to Pittsburgh. But wow, so that's a lot of travel time. How long does it take a boat to get from Brazil to Pittsburgh or Italy to Pittsburgh?
So when it's about 90 days, 60 to 90. It's just depending on the ports, depending on the time of year and what's going on. You're a 60 to 90 day window.
Wow. So do you always have boats coming, or do they come?
We have containers coming all the time, constantly. When we do our big buys, I mean, last year, I mean, we had almost 50 containers coming to Pittsburgh, throughout January, February, March, April landing. Every other day, more containers coming, and then we load up, and then we'll start to buy, and we'll start to, pick different ones that we want to pick up throughout the years, throughout the year, and then. Start to come into this season again when we're really looking at doing a lot of purchasing for next year.
That's so crazy. What a fascinating process. I mean, there's so many moving parts there.
Yeah, it's amazing to see it actually all happen and get there, and from the ordering from going and picking them, through the whole process. But the world's changed, and the dynamics over these last couple of years in shipping has really put a strain on all industries, not just ours.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where before COVID, the cost of shipping was manageable. It was really built. Now we're talking where a container may have cost $3,000 to $5,000 to ship. That same container is costing $15,000 to $20,000 to ship. So, and unfortunately, that's the world that we're in right now.
It's every product. It's not just stone. It's
everything.
Nails, wood, glue. It doesn't matter. Hats.
And it doesn't matter where it's coming from in the world, whether it's coming from Asia, whether it's coming from Europe, whether it's coming from Brazil, South America, right? It's Africa. I mean, we have material coming from all over the place, and unfortunately, everybody's dealing with the same situation. Right. And even the big manufacturers of quartz. So we do a lot of man-made quartz as well, and we work with all the major manufacturers around the world. And Cosentino is one of the largest, right? And they had to figure out how to get it out of Spain and get it to the United States without trying to keep their costs down.
Right.
But no matter who it is, everybody is finding themselves in a situation where there was price increases all the way through the board on natural quartz. For us, Emery was way ahead of this. It was amazing. We had almost 10,000 slabs under roof when all of this was going on, and we already had deals and containers on the water, so that we were really insulated from having to do price increases for almost 2 years. And then it finally, eventually you have to buy more, right?
Absolutely.
So eventually we had to start, having some increase there. But, for the longest time, our customers were really in a great position with us. And even now today, we still have really, really great pricing. We didn't have the type of crazy increases that a lot of other companies
Plus you're buying in bulk too, I would imagine. You're the top customer for them. I'm glad you answered a question I didn't even know I had, and that was roughly how many under roof slabs do you carry or
Yeah.
stock at any one point in time.
So our 3 locations, our largest for sure is in Cheswick.
Cheswick, I've been there.
But you know, in Robinson is a real cool boutique,
Yeah.
you know, type
Sexy
location. It really is, and there's nothing like it. There's only another one like that in New York. I mean, that's a full slab showroom in a mall like that.
Yep.
And you know, it. I mean, even there, you know, we have about 3,000 slabs there, and then when you go to Cranberry, we have over 5,000 slabs there, and then in Cheswick, you know, we have you know, almost 8,000 slabs there. So we have a ton of slabs in stock, and then we also have the remnants. We have by far the largest remnant selection you're going to find.
What's a remnant?
A remnant is when, say for instance, this was the job that we were doing, this table, all right? And we had to cut this out of a 60 square foot slab,
Right.
okay? And this was it. You just wanted this, and you had that particular slab picked out. We would cut it out for you, but then we would be left with this big piece.
Right.
That big piece is a remnant. It's leftover material that we can then we inventory it, and we, you know, tag it, get it all set, ready to go. And you may come in, and somebody else may come in and say, "Man, I want that same thing," and it fits in that piece. We can make it. So vanities, tables, all different types of pieces that people want. We have a tremendous amount of remnants. We have over 5,000 remnants inventoried in stock at any given moment.
Wow.
And it could be, you know, level 1 material to an exotic, and you can really get a tremendous deal on it because we bring the pricing down on our remnants.
So where are the
Huge.
remnants? Are they all in
They're
Cheswick?
all in Cheswick.
And
yeah.
they have their own little special area of the.
Little is it's a large area.
I mean, it's relative. When I'm talking Armina Stone, everything's big.
Everything's big.
Right, it's like
exactly.
Texas.
Everything's big and heavy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Another thing I want to talk about, you talked about the different showrooms. So you guys will have those slabs. Do they come to Cheswick first, and then you ship them out to there, then you sell them, and you got to bring them back?
actually, we do a lot of we unload a lot of our containers in Cranberry. We have a nice setup there to unload containers.
At your place?
At our place in Cranberry, yep.
Okay.
And then at our facility,
Right.
and then from there, we'll distribute them for show in
Sell
you know,
them.
all the different locations, so everybody can see them. Because, you know, we bring in a lot of the same type, so then we can bring them and maneuver them around the
Right.
stores. Now, if you go to Robinson and you tag 2 slabs, these are yours for your kitchen.
Sure.
You know, those 2 slabs we will then bring to Cheswick, photo them, get them all set for fabrication.
So I'm going to talk. I've gotten all my stone from you guys. One of the cool things that we're not going to talk about that I'm just going to insert is when it comes time to picking your slab, and you pick your slab, and they come out and measure everything. I've had my kitchen done, and I've had my bathroom done. They will send you digitally place on the cutouts where your slab is going to be. Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, pretty much. We call it a 2D layout. So
Okay.
our templaters will go out. They'll get to this to your site. They'll
Yeah.
shoot everything with a laser.
Yeah.
So this way they can scribe the walls. They exact measurements of what we need to be able to do. So once you know your cabinets are set, everything's level. There's a small list of things that you have to have prepared before we come out to do the template.
Right.
Once you're set, we template it. That then goes to our programmers. Our programmers start to lay that kitchen out. And they start to figure out all the pieces and the sizes and the edging, and they get it really ready so that this way, we can get it over to the cutting. But for the customers that choose to see a 2D,
Right.
is a full image. So we photograph every slab anyway, but we'll photograph that slab, and then we'll take that slab and that photograph, and we'll bring it to the programmers. They then will actually lay your kitchen
Yeah,
out
that's what
on
I'm
the
talking about.
actual slab.
So you see where your veins are going to be. If the
and then
kitchen,
we take we take everything else out of it, and we
Yeah.
just pull out what that looks like, and we put your kitchen together.
So
then we
cool.
send it to you so you can see exactly the flow,
Yeah.
the veins, what it's gonna look like.
I had to prove it. I mean, and it's, where is the sink cutout going to take out a vein I wanted to be shown or something? It was really cool, I thought.
Yeah, and we invite customers to our place to
Yeah.
do that along with our programmers.
So what I would like to see, Emre, is an experience. Whenever my project is coming up, I like to have like a come to the factory, champagne, caviar,
Yes.
and I want to sit and watch it being polished. And videoed and stuff, so I can have her remember like a baby.
Let's do it. Let's go.
So I would say what type of trends are you seeing? But you guys set the trends. So what type of trends are you creating?
So it's there's a ton of really cool things going on in the stone industry where they're putting it, where you're starting to put stone. It's not just a countertop. Yeah, it can be all over the place. We're doing showers, as you know, and we're doing a lot more showers.
I love
and we're doing them, with 1 cm or 2 cm material and be able to veining. So that's the thickness of it.
Centimeter.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
1 centimeter, which is about 3/4.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, 2 centimeters, which is about 3/4, or a 3 centimeter, which is what you see in most countertops. That's your inch and a quarter.
Interesting.
So the but the 2 cm is a little bit lighter. We can get it onto the walls much easier.
Right.
We're doing that in quartz and natural stone as well.
Is this
Mostly
residential,
quartz.
commercial, both?
Both, all over, builder, commercial, residential.
Really?
Yeah, that's for sure. But the biggest one I'd have to say is full height backsplashes.
Oh yeah.
So
I love that.
taking your stone and going from your countertops up the walls.
Love it.
In your kitchens. It's been around for some time, but it really just took off, and we're doing so many full height backsplashes anymore.
It was
it is
easy?
absolutely gorgeous. It's easy
doesn't matter?
for the homeowners, right? Or for the
It's easy for you. I mean,
For us, it's
the robot.
The robots cut it,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
You have the right material, you have the right tool for the job. It really does it, There's some trick to it for sure, because
yeah.
it takes an extra step. People don't realize, like, the day we come to do the countertop, we can't also put up the backsplash. We have to then come back and template the backsplash, because
Different height.
you got to have the height, and you got to know exactly where your countertop's going to land. So once we get it all leveled and we get it squared, then we can go ahead and measure the full height. And get all your cutouts for your outlets and windowsills, whatever. All of that needs to come into play. But once it's done, the way it flows and the way it comes up the walls, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Listen, as a consumer, there's nothing better. Tile goes out of style. Your granite, after maybe 20, 30 years, might go out of style, but it stays in style a lot longer than tile. You don't have grout with spaghetti sauce splashing into it. It just looks so much more simplistic and classy and flows and clean and crisp and
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you really think about a lot of tile looks. The tiles are designed to look like stone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, like most tile that you're.
Because there's no organic tile.
No.
They make tile.
Right. Yeah. Well, exactly.
Man-made.
It's porcelain or ceramic, right? But the looks and the design come from stone.
Yeah.
So
True.
Right.
Why imitate?
Why fake it?
Yeah, right. And it's a lot more labor intensive.
Yeah, the tile install.
Tile.
Yeah,
oh my God, it's a multi-step
process to get it done. Yeah. So it's a look that is really catching on. We can't replicate a white subway tile.
Right. If that's the look you want.
That's the look you're going for. That's not for us. But we'll match up a great countertop to it. Yep. No problem.
Are you seeing two different colors sometimes? Backsplash versus the countertop?
Not really.
Guilty.
Not really. There's some time here and there, not a ton.
Yeah, okay.
Some designers design. That's what they do.
Right.
So we don't get in their way. If they see they want and they have a vision for what they're trying to do, we're all about it. We'll make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
What any other trends you're seeing?
We're doing a ton more build-up edges. So a build-up edge. So you've got basically taking the edge of your countertop, if you're 3 cm, then all of a sudden, adding basically a miter to that and putting a 3-inch apron on it.
Makes it look like it's.
It makes it look like it's three inches thick, right? And that will run all the way around, especially on islands. That's where you see it.
Sure.
All the island
that looks much better. I think.
Oh, it does.
I think I've seen something Emery has in his personal house. He has LED lights underneath there.
Yeah.
Sexy.
And we're seeing more and more people asking about it.
LED lights are so easy to install. They're cheap.
They are, but they're not. The mat that has to go down. So you have your countertop. Say it's your island, right?
Right.
The top of it, gets an extra layer of plywood to start to build it up, so you can, have that big edge on there. And then on top of that, that build on top of the plywood, it's almost, they're mats, they're LED matte lights. So all these mats go on top of it and cover the entire surface. So that this way, when the lights come on after the stone's on there, there's no blotchy spots. It covers the whole thing.
Right.
So you have to have the right type of stone as well,
right.
Where you can illuminate it from the back. And you can see right through it.
That's a very Miami high-end luxury southeast Florida type of thing. But it's coming to Pittsburgh. That's good to see.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we're going to move on from trends to there's something going on in the Robinson office. I've noticed, I've seen some things on Instagram and Facebook. Help me understand what's going on there.
So we developed an amazing partnership with Cambria. And Cambria is like the Lamborghini of quartz, right? So they're a marketing machine as well.
Yeah.
So they're an American-made company, and they have very, very unique designs. They're really known for their design. What they put into their designs it's an amazing process. They're known for their style of quartz, the way that they make it, their level of perfection, and how they go about doing it.
So they're all quartz only.
They're all quartz
Specific.
only. Yeah, they're fully quartz.
And you say it's American.
It's American made. Yep, out in Minnesota is where their factory is.
So they get their stone from the rocks, McKees rocks.
So they get their quartz. They have their own quartz mined.
Really?
So they mine their own quartz in Canada is where they mine it.
Close enough. We consider that.
Yeah, and then they bring it over to Minnesota, Canada, very close. But so they bring the quartz to Minnesota where their factory is, and that's where they create the actual quartz countertops. So they're a very unique company though, the way that they go to market, and in this market, they just really didn't have a real strong presence here, and they didn't have a strong partner in the market to do retail for them as well as do the installation. So we've been working together with them for some time now because they're also placed in Home Depot. They have a certain line that's in Home Depot, and we do the installs for Home Depot in this market, as well as some Lowe's, IKEA, Cabinets to Go. Costco now as well.
Awesome.
So that's our national brands that we work with, and we supply and install. So we started installing for Cambria in this market, and they realized like, wow, you guys are really good at what you're doing. We love what you're doing. We really want to partner up. They saw our brand and their brand, and we said, "Look, this is a great marriage here. Let's combine brands and do it in Robinson." And we took our store in Robinson, which is a full slab showroom.
Yep.
And we took about a third of that store and gave it all to Cambria, and it's the only location in this market that you can go and view 30 full slabs of Cambria. It is nothing like it. So there was a few smaller guys that had like a slab or two in their showrooms.
Sure.
We have 30 full slabs.
That's the only way to do it.
As well as a whole wall full of all their other colors.
Samples.
Yeah, it is amazing.
It's the only way to do it.
From a design standpoint, we have people coming from, all over the place, from New York, Jersey, Ohio, coming in to look at these slabs because, when you're trying to plan your kitchen, you want to see everything.
Of course.
So you get to see these full slabs, and it's all their hottest colors. It's all their hottest new designs, and we have some really great designers there to help them and work with them, to be able to do that. And of course, there's still natural stone, and we have, we have our granite and quartzite. And there is a very boutique shop, so we have some higher end, level 4 or 5s and exotics in Robinson, and along with the Cambria. But it's a marriage that is really going well.
Yeah.
And we're excited. They're excited. We're doing so much more Cambria in the market, and it opened up even more doors doing Cambria installs in commercial spaces. So, Cambria is the higher end, so you're not going to always see Cambria in new apartments and in the units, but in the reception area, the reception desks, or the boardrooms and certain areas, you're going to see Cambria because it's your Lamborghini of
absolutely,
of course. So
you can tell just by looking at their logo, they're not ghetto.
No,
They're not low end.
It's fire. It's
black
fire.
and gold
Yeah.
tiger or lion or something.
Dragon. It's
Dragon.
a giant dragon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even better.
It's a golden dragon.
Tigers and lions.
Exactly.
So you guys just do stone only. There's no laminate like this countertop. I could not find it there.
No, we don't do any laminate. No. Granite, quartz, marble, quartzite.
Is marble big anymore?
Marble's big, yeah. Marble's making a big comeback
Is it
too.
making a comeback?
Even in kitchens, like you're seeing a lot more marble kitchens. I'm Italian. I have marble everywhere in my house.
I mean,
love
marble
it.
is the creme de la creme.
Yeah, but it's also, you have to. It has its right place. You
Right.
have to be mindful of it, and just like any granite, quartzite or marble, you have to at least seal it once a year. You have to take care of it. You got to maintain it. Marble's a little softer,
Yes.
so it may not be the best application if you have a whole bunch of kids and
Like to drink red
still
wine and
little they're
spill
going
it.
yeah, you gotta maintain it a little bit, but not as much as people think. It's really not that bad to be able to have in your house and be able to maintain and keep it looking really good for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
But marble's making a big comeback.
Very
for
Italian.
Sure. Yeah. Italian, Greek. Yeah, we love it.
So the last thing we're talking about is it's getting to that time of year where Thanksgiving's coming up and Christmas is coming up, and I know Armina Stone does a lot of charity, some charities throughout the year. You're going to talk about and some special stuff for the holidays for the kids and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Steel City Impact is a huge part of us at Armina, and Steel City.
What is Steel City Impact?
So Steel City Impact is a nonprofit organization that started to really be able to, help inner city kids, give them the type of experiences that a lot of other kids have in other markets, right? So
okay.
It allows them to be able to. They have like an after-school activity programs,
Cool.
Summer camp all throughout the summer, and being able to educate them and on all different aspects of life, as well as sports and nutrition and all these type of things as well.
I see you guys giving tours of different job sites and businesses
really
and stuff.
educating them. Yeah, giving them
Opening their eyes to
the world. That a lot of times some inner city kids just really don't have that opportunity to. And the organization's growing and growing and growing. Right now they're part of the McKees Rocks area. That's starting to expand now. We're looking at other markets to be able to do it. And Emery's the vice president right now on the board, and it's really near and dear to his heart as well. And the board itself is fantastic. Some amazing leaders on that board.
Okay.
Which is really just amazing. So that's been something we put that a part of our customer appreciation golf outing.
Yep.
We've raised money throughout the year, all their different events. They have a gala coming up on October 14th.
Okay.
We have tables for sale, so please check it out. It's really something else. Yeah, you want to definitely get on that. It's going to be a great event. We have Stuff-A-Bus coming up.
Yeah, I hear about it every year, so I want to make sure we hit that.
Yeah, it's gonna be another really great event. We're gonna, for us anyway. I mean, we just love it. So we, pack up a couple of big Armina trucks full of toys. We go absolutely crazy with that. We get some Steeler players out there with us. The Edmond brothers have been fantastic on that too. So we'll be all a part of that.
You still have they still stuff buses, or you just stuff Armina trucks now?
Well, they still have buses. So everybody can go and donate and stuff the bus.
Okay.
Mikey and Big Bob do a great job promoting this, going crazy. And so they still stuff buses, but we bring our Armina trucks full of toys, take them out and stuff their buses with it.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Cool.
So we have that coming up. And of course, we've done a lot with AHN as well in the hospital, and being able to raise money that way as well. And, it's pretty exciting. We love to be a part of the community and help where we can, and, donate throughout the different golf outings, different events, and really just, look for those type of partnerships in the market.
And speaking of that, you have some local celebrity personalities that Armina Stone works with. Who all do you guys?
Well, Selena Pompiani, right? She's amazing, and we
Shout
love
out
her to death.
Selena.
Yeah, Selena's fantastic. I mean, you couldn't find a more quality person. It's really unbelievable.
Perfect for the role, man.
And she is, people always ask me, is she always so nice and so well? Like, yes, she's always like this. Like, what you see her on is like, it's nonstop. She's actually my neighbor. She's only lives a few doors down.
Oh,
from
cool.
me. Yeah, so we, get together. She's the same. Always. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. Great spokesperson for Armina Stone. We're so blessed to have her for sure.
Mikey and Big Bob.
Mikey and Big Bob. They the jingle. It's there.
Yeah.
You know, it's everyone knows it.
Everyone knows. How about Steelers?
Yeah, Steeler players. I mean, we have, you know, a beautiful suite at the Steeler Stadium and Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah,
right?
we had to think about it for a while.
Yeah, had to, you know, yeah. So, but you know, with the players as well, Emory has some amazing relationship with the actual players and past players like Ryan Teyssier. Ryan, you know, is a big, you know, Armina fan. And,
Steel City Impact too, I think.
He's on the board of Steel City Impact as well.
Ryan's just like Selena.
Yeah,
that's the way they are straight through.
Always.
There's no act.
No,
Right.
they're just genuinely amazing people to be around. So, you know, I feel blessed to be a part of it and to know them. Of course, the Edmond brothers, you know, they're fantastic and a big part of what we do and, you know, get involved with us.
The two brothers are Steeler players, or I know there's one in Buffalo.
Yeah, the one in Buffalo.
So you have a relationship with all of them, all three?
Mostly here in Pittsburgh,
Right.
you know, with Terrell and Trey.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, so but
It's great.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, well, Mike, that was a lot of info. I think
Yeah,
we hit
it was
everything
a
I
ton.
wanted to. I really
Okay.
appreciate it. Thanks very
No,
much.
thank you so much.
All right,
man.
you got it.
Appreciate it.
Cool.